Hello, I'm back. I'm still in the bus. I hope you can hear me. You'll have to let me know if the fan is too noisy. I didn't want to leave you all just hanging there. So, does it sound okay? Hello?
Let me know in a second. It still says it's waiting.
Really? Oh, from my end, it looks like I've been live for 43 seconds. Live for 43 seconds. Okay. And, um, and hey, Susan. Sorry about that. I just had to rearrange and get some things taken care of. I hope that you guys can hear me all right, and I hope the date is correct now. That was kind of funny. Um, and we even forgot to put the a title in there, which is As the Crow Flies. And then as I did it, I put As the Crow Flies, and then YouTube told me that it was 3 characters too long. I'm like, of course it's 3 characters too long, because that's just how things go. That's just how it goes. Gotta move back here a little bit. So glad to have you with me. I will show you what that looks like without the sheet up over it sometime. This is where Grim and I, this is our room, but it's also where we do a lot of our computer work. And one of our altars is up there. And once we get that part of the bus more complete and ready to show you guys, we'll be glad to show you what it looks like back there. But until then, you get the sheet. Oh, I don't even know. I don't even think I'm going to have an As the Crow Flies day today, because honestly, I'm just having some tea with some friends, because it has been one of those, and I keep thinking it's going to get better, right? It's been a really emotional day for a lot of different reasons. And I know that there are a whole bunch of planets in retrograde right now. And thank you for that list, Susan, by the way. If you wouldn't mind sharing that, that would be great. I should have copied it and pasted it myself. But there's a bunch of planets in retrograde right now. And then when we're in September around the 9th or 10th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mercury goes into retrograde again. And that typically, that sort of Mercury retrograde energy, if you will, starts affecting a lot of us empaths and sensitive people anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 days prior to the actual retrograde. So if you're feeling a little off kilter anyways, and things are starting to kind of feel retrograde-y, don't be surprised. As you become more awake and aware, and as you continue on your path and your learning experience about becoming a sovereign spiritual being, you are bound to uncover. Hold on. So, somebody out there, I need to stop what I'm doing right now, and I need to tell you that you really, really need to give some healing emphasis to your kidneys. I'm not exactly sure who I'm talking about right now. I kind of have an idea, because a couple of faces and energy fields kind of came up in front of me. But I also know that we've been clearing on a physical level. we've been clearing a lot of things. A lot of us have had physical illnesses recently. And a lot of us are going through the process of, ridding ourselves of toxic relationships and finding a new norm within that construct of having different people in our vibrational field. And when you do that, like, your body goes through, it's a cathartic experience for mind, body, and soul, and it takes some time to readjust. I know that a lot of times we will feel, and this has been part of our dialogue now as spiritual people for the last 25, 30 years about, Mercury retrograde. It's just Mercury retrograde. But I feel that we don't need to allow Mercury retrograde to affect us as deeply as it used to. I think we take this time as a time when things come up, things break down or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's Mercury retrograde or not. Something is happening with your car, then take the moment and time to listen to what that might mean and what you need to do. It's usually a symptom of something larger going on under the surface. So take those moments to fix those things. Don't go into this Mercury retrograde with concern or worry that things are going to all blow to hell like they have in the past, because it doesn't actually have to be that way. Susan is saying the shadow periods for Mercury retrograde, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Some people are way more sensitive to that than others, and so I know for one that I'm already feeling that. As a matter of fact, you can probably feel the intensity of all the other planets that are in retrograde right now, because they're usually not all in retrograde nearly this close together at this time. So vibrationally speaking, it's a real conundrum, but we're going to make it through it just like we always do. And we're here because we're withstanding. And I don't think that things are ever going to go back to normal. So the other day in one of the chat groups that I belong to with the sevens, somebody said, yes, it's just one of those times and we'll get through it, and then things will go back to normal. Well, they're really not going to ever really go back to normal, not like they were. And as I've said before, we don't want them to, do we? I mean, the truth is that even though some things really, really suck right now, at least we know the truth instead of being hidden in the dark and only told portions of things. You know what that felt like when you were a child, how that felt to be only told a portion of things and you had to kind of figure out the rest of it. Even though you kind of knew what was going on in the family, you weren't really being told directly, and so you had to kind of fill in the gaps for yourself. And that's what the majority of us humans have been doing for the longest time, trying to fill in the gaps as best we can because we don't have all the necessary information. Well, it's starting to come out little by little, and I'm glad for that. I'm not happy about all of the suffering that mankind is going through, and really, to be more honest, I'm very distraught about the suffering that the world is going through because of mankind. It's not just, mankind that I feel suffering from. It's all parts of the planet. All pieces and parts are feeling what we're going through. All animals and plants are moving through their own ascension period. We're all shifting in this density as the earth changes density. We're all shifting planes. We're all increasing our vibrational frequencies, and it's not an easy process to go through. It's emotional. It bears shadows. It requires you to do some thinking about things that you don't necessarily want to do some thinking about. It's also intensely personal and very intimate time. when you're asked to take off the goggles and see things as they are. That's why I just decided to have some tea with some friends today and not really go deep. So it makes sense that the kidneys are being affected as well, because as we're clearing our energetic bodies and we're clearing, we've been asking for healing, rejuvenating white light. We've been, replacing dead, damaged, diseased cells with healthier ones. The kidneys, the liver, the parts of our body that are part of the toxic elimination system, including sweat glands, have been working overtime because we have been letting go of a lot of stuff. And remember, just because it isn't physical doesn't mean you don't feel it on the physical side of things. Mind, body, spirit, those three things are connected. Those three things have never been apart. We've just forgot to keep them together. And that's part of the deprogramming that we're doing now, trying to remember who we are, trying to remember our skills and strengths, trying to remember that we are energetic beings after all, having a physical experience, not a physical being having a spiritual experience. It might be a little bit of both in some cases, but I'm a spiritual person having a physical experience. And wow. Energy shift there. I don't know if you could feel it. Take time to heal yourself. Make sure you're drinking enough. Make sure you're drinking things that are healthy for you, not just coffee. And no, not just water either. Find something that's, pleasing and pleasant to you, as well as nourishing to your body, because our kidneys are needing support. Our kidneys, our lungs, our livers, indeed all of our internal organs are needing support, but some more than others, especially as we go through this detoxification process. That's exactly what it is. It's like learning what is true and what is not, and letting go of things, letting go of that baggage. It's almost like letting go of some parasite that's been feeding off of you for a very long time. Think about that for a while. Think about that. So I'm going to draw a card for the group for today, September 1st, 2022. This is 420-ish Tarot with Gussie. And here we draw a card. Got my cards here in front of me. One of these days I'll have two. I'm not surprised I pulled this card. I kind of feel like this one is for Grimm. He's sitting right here though, but it's actually for all of us. I want to show you what card it is, but he'll get a hoot out of the fact that it's the Sun card. So the sun, right? The sun provides us nourishment. Without the sun, we wouldn't even be alive. The sun is part of our existence as much as water. It is just, it's just part of our daily throng, our seasonal lives. And though I've been discussing some kind of dark and dreary things over the last 20 minutes, I want to remind you that even though things aren't going to go back to the way they were, it doesn't mean they have to go back to some dismal niche either. It's not meant This world isn't meant to be a sad and sorrowful place. If I want to talk about God, the God that I was introduced to as a young girl, the God that I was introduced to as a young girl made this planet, made this realm to be enjoyed, to be loved in, to be communicated in, to be mesmerized in. And although I know being physical right now means that there's some ouches and some pains and some setbacks and whatnot, I know that in the long run, the world that I see out in front of me is completely attainable. The world that I see that has, peaceful people around my campfire is attainable. We have to remember that we have to keep hope in our hearts. The Sun card, it's full of hope. Every day we get reminded that it's a new day, that there's a new chance, that there are, trees still growing, grass still needs mowing. It reminds us that the world is still flowing, even though we sometimes feel like shutting down. Get yourself out there. Eat a cucumber, because Susan B says a cucumber has all the vitamins and minerals we need for one day. So there you go. Make some cucumber water. Some people love cucumber water. It is quite delicious. Time is now. The season is almost over. Time to start going dark again real soon. So seize that moment. Fill yourself with hope. Remember that even though Mercury retrograde is right around the corner, and we're probably feeling some of it right now, along with all the other planets that are in retrograde, we are above and beyond this. We can flow with this. Like the animals, take it all in stride. They don't seem to stress about this retrograde or that full moon. They just go with it. They just let it be. And that's what I encourage you to do today as well. Let it be. Have a cup of coffee or tea. Maybe some cucumber water if you're so moved. That does sound yummy. And be like the sun. Set a little hope in your heart. Say something today to someone that you know will make them smile. It'll make you smile too. I hope that you have an incredible day. Thanks for joining me on this weird little inaugural trod onto YouTube. And I will go back and read your messages in a minute. It was real confusing to have them pop up while I was talking, but I'm sure I'll get used to that. And I love to hear what some of you have to say, so I'll make sure I go back and read. I hope you all have a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are. Nod to you, Brandon. And I hope you all stay magical. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I have no idea how to say goodbye. Here we go. Hit the X. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Okay. Bye, guys.